Ancient giant skeletons of enormous size discovered in New Mexico, wrote the New York Times article from 1902. Did giants once roam the earth? Well, we even have ancient texts claiming that, yes, we did have giants roaming the earth, from ancient Greek texts, ancient Egyptian texts, ancient Holy Bible passages. Researchers Graham Hancock he coined the phrase, we're like a species with amnesia, and it's true, despite the fact that it seems the story of human history is well uncovered. Every single year there are new discoveries made that challenge what we once held to be true. In some cases there are discoveries which are concealed from the general public for various reasons. A great example of what would be the black budget world. And there also seems to be amazing discoveries that are completely ignored by mainstream media, and most of these discoveries would shake the foundations of human history. Another great example are the bodies of recent discoveries in Nazca, Peru, the three-fingered toed and three-toed humanoid beings whose physical anatomy is far different from that of humans. Another example would be the stories regarding intelligent ancient civilizations, like Atlantis and the Atlanteans, for example, which many scholars now believe to have actually existed. And talking about Atlantis, I do have the Emerald Tablets playlist in my videos, and you can know that was supposedly written by Thoth the Atlantean, Hermes Trismegistus, and he explains the tremendously advanced technology that they had. Now, out of all the information that's out there regarding intelligent ancient civilizations and more, even if just one of these stories are true, it would completely change what we thought we knew about human history and the history of our planet. And the writer says, I believe the story of our past might be different from what seems to be the only two available options, creationism and evolution. There may be a myriad of other factors involved. These discoveries would also shake the foundations of many people's belief systems. The human race has been kept from so much information and forced into a specific worldview that is designed to benefit the 1%. In today's age, it's always best to keep an open mind, especially when new information is constantly emerging, for those who are curious enough to actually look which challenges the old. Now, what about these ancient giants? Did giants once roam the earth? It seems in the literature and lore of multiple cultures throughout human history, from the Maya, the global indigenous populations, the Bible, and more, since what we perceive as the beginning of time. For example, the Bible tells us that when the gods were on earth, they were giants. This, when you bring up in conversation, normally brings you laughter and people giggling and thinking you're joking, and yet the Bible is full of references of giants in our history. This is what Michael Tellinger reminds us of. Tellinger is referring to the Nephilim as referenced in Numbers 13:33 of the Bible. We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak, come from the Nephilim, and we seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. And again, it's not just the Bible, it's lore from cultures that predated religion as well as the indigenous. Tellinger is a renowned author and politician who has made several groundbreaking discoveries regarding the lost ancient civilizations that once roamed the earth. There are several examples of physical evidence which exist to support the ideas that giants once roamed the earth. For example, stored in the vaults of the medical school at Wits University, Johannesburg, South Africa, there is part of an upper leg bone with a hip joint that would have stood approximately 12 feet tall. It's been there since the early 1960s and was found by miners in northern Namibia. It's one of the most precious and rare specimens available today that clearly indicate the existence of giants in southern Africa more than 40,000 years ago. And we're lucky they did find that part of the skeleton, because most bones, of course, just disintegrate after a period of time. Now, apparently, in 1883, the Smithsonian, a United States government military-led organization at the time, sent a team of archaeologists to South Charleston Mound. According to the official report, the team discovered a number of giant skeletons ranging from 7 to 9 feet tall. Some of them had a compressed or flat head type, which could resemble similar skeleton characteristics to those found in Egypt and South America. Whether or not this is fake news is highly debatable, as there is a lot of evidence to suggest it is not. The list goes on, and what's interesting is an article published in the New York Times in 1902 that also deals with the subject. Giant skeletons found. This is New York Times, Los Angeles, California, February 10, 1902. Archaeologists to send expedition to explore graveyards in New Mexico where bodies were unearthed. Owing to the discovery of the remnants of a race of giants in Guadalupe, New Mexico, antiquarians and archaeologists are preparing an expedition further to explore that region. This determination is based on the excitement that exists among the people of a scope of country near Mesa Rico, about 200 miles south of Las Vegas, where an old burial ground has been discovered that has yielded skeletons of enormous size, it said. So apparently the chest of the body had a circumference of 7 feet. The bodies were first discovered by Gianna Quintana. It was on his ranch these specific bodies were found, according to the article. Quintana, who has uncovered many other burial places, expressed the opinion that perhaps thousands of skeletons of a race of giants long extinct will be found. This supposition is based on the traditions handed down from the early Spanish invasion that have detailed knowledge of the existence of a race of giants that inhabited the plains of what now is eastern New Mexico. And the Native American legends and carvings also in the same section indicate the existence of such a race of giants. And going back further still, in 1774, settlers found what they called the Giant Town, which housed several gigantic skeletons, one being an 8-foot tall male. In addition to the human skeletons found in New York State, there's also the famous case of the Cardiff Giant, a white alabaster-like statue of 11-foot man who showed an exposed penis in hieroglyphic inscriptions. This statue caused a worldwide sensation and was exhibited in New York City to thousands of paying customers before it was declared a fake by New York newspapers, despite the fact that scholars from Harvard and elsewhere insisted that the statue was genuine, Richard Dewhurst reports. Dewhurst is an Emmy Award-winning writer. He's a graduate of NYU with degrees in journalism, film, and television, written and edited for the History Channel. Now, the story of human history. As mentioned earlier, we don't really know the full story of human history. And when new evidence and information does pop up, either from the past or today, which challenges the current accepted framework, it seems like people lose their minds. And what we have today, in large part, is dogma instead of actual fact. With all the discoveries being made, and all the discoveries that have been made, which mainstream media completely ignores, we're clearly not being told something about the true origins of humanity. The idea that a powerful group of people protecting their interests by suppressing information in multiple fields is unsettling. For a plant and its people to thrive, it must live in complete transparency. And this is by Arjun Walia, Collective Evolution on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.